this past July, we took you to central South Dakota to visit cattle producers feeling the impact of the drought.
And we recently returned to that same area to see if any relief arrived as the summer progressed.
In tonight's Eye on Kettleland, Ariana Schumacher brings you an update on the impact of not only the drought, but cattle prices.
Drought conditions have been a concern for cattle producers all year. They worried about having enough food for the livestock, as well as how strong the market would be. For some, they had to sell off large portions of their herd to stay in business.
You're seeing herds that have been closed herds for 30 years, a lot of AI genetics, stuff of that nature, that are having to come to town with their young cows, and that's really sad to see.
The Cook family operates a fifth-generation ranch outside of New Underwood. They had to sell off a third of their herd due to the dry conditions.
It was difficult. It was not something anybody wants to do. You're selling cattle that you raised, and it's, you know, you raised them from calves up to cows, and you have to sell them because you don't have enough grass and water to have them survive.
Conditions do not seem to be improving at their ranch. They did not get their normal feed supply to prepare them for the winter.
This year we made 195 round bales. 2 years ago we made 4,000. So fortunately we carried over from 2 years ago, so we didn't have to buy, but a lot of producers did.
I guess if anybody's looking to get in the cow business, why there's going to be a lot of these good young cows move that are giving somebody an opportunity to start with a 30-year production herd starting one day by coming to a sale, because they're darn sure cattle you normally wouldn't see till they were either open or old enough to be out of production.
But for some producers in the central part of the state, they were able to catch some late summer rainfall, so the drought was not as bad as they feared.
As the summer went on, we kind of kept moving and tried to stay off the pasture as best we could and keep things going, and I think it seemed to work. We got quite a bit of this late season rain, and so that's really greened everything back up.
Because of late rains, they were able to graze pastures they normally wouldn't use.
We've had pretty much a complete turnaround. I mean, we've gone from, you know, having almost brown grass and pretty short to really lush, pretty green, especially in some of these valleys and some places where we did use them early, and so they could regrow and be good. We're starting to see a lot of good growth in the grass, so that's helped quite a bit. So
Todd's water sources for cattle were affected by the drought, and he had to begin hauling water since the beginning of August.
But it's one of the things we just live with and work around, try to do the best we can. But it's definitely been a challenge.
Going into winter, his feed supply is not a major concern.
We're not doing too bad now. We did end up putting up a bunch of CRP hay, so that's kind of really helped at least give us the forage to get by. We'll definitely have to supplement it with some different products to try to help get the feed quality we need to make it through. But at least we have the forage now to feel pretty comfortable about going through the winter.
Because of his hay supply, Todd will be able to keep his cattle as long as he normally would.
We normally wean our calves the 1st of November if we can, and then we try to background all of our calves at least till, you know, kind of February, March, try to use up some feed and then and make them get a little fit into a different market if we can. I think we're going to stay on that plan this year. I think because we got that hay put up, I think we got enough supply to kind of make that work.
Cattle prices are also being affected this year.
The price on these feeder cattle is reflective of what they're getting for the fat cattle. So it's very frustrating because you see the price of the fat cattle at $1.20 to $1.2456, depending on the day and the week. And at the same time, you see record high prices in the stores. So people that aren't familiar with agriculture see the high priced beef and they think that these cattle feeders and these ranchers are getting rich. And just the opposite is true.
It's heartbreaking to see the struggles producers are facing this year.
I'll be honest with you, it's hard to talk to a lot of these folks that are having to sell their cattle. You know, as I said to begin with, some of these people have 30, 40 years of breeding, maybe more than that on some instances, but AI genetics and just been building a herd for many, many, many years. And then to have Mother Nature throw the curveball at them where they just can't afford to pay the high price for feed to hang on to these cattle.
With Eye on Kettleland, I'm Ariana Schumacher.
Now, there are concerns that there will not be enough buyers to purchase the amount of cattle they're seeing come through the sale barns right now.